Anthony Hartwig, DJ Oakley here with you, and we have a very special Coach's Corner and season preview for you today from Brookfield inside the MVAC gray tier. It is a guy that has been there for a while now, building a great program in Brookfield. They've seen a lot of success. They're trying to bring it back this year. It is the head coach of the Brookfield Warriors softball program, David Dejoy. Coach, thank you so much for coming on today, buddy.
Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, DJ. Appreciate you guys having me.
We love having you on. And I guess before we get started about this year, I just want to take some time to quickly recap last season and some of the lessons that you think can be learned from last year and what you hope the returning players will bring from what they experienced in last season's campaign.
For sure. I mean, last year, as everyone knows, we had a little bit of a downturn. That previous season, we graduated 11 seniors who took up a lot of the playing time for 3 of the 4 seasons. And so kind of left a little bit of a vacuum when they all graduated. Last year, we had some growing pains, but one of our pitchers, Madison Obermeyer, and a couple of our players got some good varsity time that hopefully we can build on going into this season.
Coach, when you talk about that vacuum, it's very hard sometimes to replicate game situations, and it's really hard sometimes to get players in those games, especially tight ones, close ones. How do you look at the roster now and look at this and keep building from the bottom up and make sure that they're getting reps, even if it's not game situations? And how do you replicate that if it's not in an actual game?
Well, certainly that's going to be a challenge again for this season because we started off with 38 girls for signups back at the end of January. We're currently at 27, so we will have a full varsity and a full JV roster. But yeah, that's going to be the challenge, getting everyone playing time, figuring out what is best for both the varsity and the junior varsity team. And, the fortunate thing about that is once the weather improves, and it's starting to this week, we'll be able to get out on the field together and put some game type situations for the entire group and some scenarios to run through and hopefully help each of our girls improve at their positions.
That's something you're going to have to navigate, but you look around the area, especially schools your size, you don't see a lot of teams with 20 plus players that are locked into their team. So what kind of blessing is that for you? And what does it mean about what you're building as a program that so many girls are interested in being a part of Brookfield softball?
Yeah, certainly it's nice. And you're absolutely right, Anthony. It's actually been a challenge to find JV games. There's so many programs that you would assume, especially with larger schools, that would have a junior varsity team, and they just really don't at this time. Everything is a blessing and a cursing sometimes when you have that many girls because you're trying to get them in. You're trying to work with each of them. Small school, it's great to have those numbers, but you certainly want to give everybody the appropriate time and care and development that you can give them.
Certainly the conference, the MVAC, has become what has been a girls' gauntlet, I guess, in seemingly every sport, softball no different. When you're preparing for, conference play, obviously you're a name that everybody looks at, circles this game on their schedule. Who kind of gets you excited whenever you're looking at your schedule that keeps you kind of up at night, and then also, it raises that blood pressure whenever you're on the diamond?
Well, the easy answer for who keeps me up at night is champion, of course.
Right.
But like you said, within our conference, there's quality teams and opponents each year. And La Brea is right there again. Crestview's back. Garfield's obviously challenging. We have Southeast coming in to the conference, and they have a solid softball program as well. And there's others too. I don't want to leave anyone out, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It's I'm excited for softball, period. I love the game. I love to coach the game. I love seeing our players and young people accomplish something that they've never done before. You coach them and you try to prepare them the best you can. And you keep telling them that they can do something and they can accomplish something. And then when they actually do it, and then you get that look and that reward, I guess you would put it that way, and the smile on their face for that. That's what I love. I love the game.
I always like to hear about leadership, Coach. So talk to me about some of the girls you're going to rely on this year to be leaders, to be those, emotional and vocal leaders of the team that you think are going to step up big.
Well, certainly we want Madison Overmeyer, excuse me, especially as one of our returning players who saw a lot of time on the mound. As a pitcher, you're kind of always looked to be a leader as well, because the game starts and stops with you, and you kind of set the pace when you're on the mound. So she'll certainly be one that we want to rely on. There's others that we're working with and just want to see them grow and grow into a role and grow into what they can be on the field and off the field. The off the field to me is just as important with grades, and we always preach effort, attitude, and respect. And so we certainly want to see some of these girls develop into that and allow some others and create room for others to be leaders on the team.
I would never ask you who your favorite team is, because I'm sure that every team has its own challenge, just like children, right? They all, okay, I like this about them. This one I'm not so crazy about. But what does this team have that really excites you?
I'll tell you what, the thing that our coaches keep talking about, these 27 girls get along so incredibly well, and they come to practice every day, and great attitudes. They work hard. They give their best effort. They've actually been a tremendous pleasure to coach. And I just hope that we can build that culture, keep that culture, and, see where this team can go this year and then improve year after year with this group and some of the other groups we have coming up behind them.
As we're talking about things that make this team exciting, Coach, what parts of the game do you think are going to be your strength, the things that you really want to lean on this year, things that you can take advantage of and you think you're going to be really good at this season?
Well, from last year to this year, I can see that our defense is already going to improve, and we're going to need that. We made way too many errors last year and mental mistakes, but that comes with a young team that didn't have a lot of experience. And so, I think we're going to be better off going into this season than we were last year with our defense. And hopefully our communication out there as well. Girls just knowing their assignments and responsibilities and working together as a unit to accomplish what we'd like to do on the field. We're working on our bats. We're working on improving that aspect of our game. And we will have a little more pitching depth this year than we've had the last year or two. And so we'll have a few options there on the mound as well.
I guess you go from the strength to things that you are challenged with. What things are you walking into the season knowing that you're going to have to grow in order to be the team that you want to be?
Well, certainly, I don't want to get ahead of my skis on this, but we're certainly going to start a handful of freshmen and a handful of sophomores. And so we're going to be young, and those freshman players that are going to step onto the field for the first time, it's going to be their first experience playing high school softball. And so that's what we're going to have to, do the best that we can as coaches to mentally prepare them for that. But they're not really going to know what it's all about until we go up against a champion or a LeBray, or, we open up with Ursuline. That's going to be an extreme challenge for us. But, we're just going to go. Our goal is going to be to improve and compete always. Compete from the first pitch to the last pitch every single game that we go out there and step on the field.
Coach, like every sport, the divisions have expanded in softball, and you're seeing a brand new kind of look in the postseason. Just want to quickly get your thoughts about expanding divisions and what kind of doors you think it might open for you and your team to be able to make runs in the postseason.
Sure. I mean, certainly expanding the divisions kind of levels out some of the competition a little bit. So we're looking forward to that. The downside, of course, is you could be traveling over an hour and a half, 2 hours for a first round, second round game, depending on the seating that you get. So things are expanded. It's different, but it'll be new for everyone, and everyone will just adjust accordingly and learn the layout on the map as the playoffs approach.
I always want to get to know a coach from a standpoint of why did you get into coaching and what keeps you going? And I know it can be a trick question sometimes, but for you, I mean, what got you going and what keeps you going?
Sure. I was a baseball player growing up, and when I had kids, and you guys know Abby, of course, but when she started in back when she was 5 years old at T-ball, I started coaching there, and then the current high school coach at the time invited me to come on staff. I was with him for 4 years. And then when he stepped away to go take the basketball program over, I was hired. I just love being outside. I love being on the field. And so I've been there. I think I'm trying to remember what year that was actually, but I continue to do it because I enjoy it. I always tell my wife that when it's no longer fun, then I'll step away, of course, unless something else comes up in family life or work life that changes things. But I like I said, I just enjoy the game. I enjoy being around the young people. I enjoy competition, and that's kind of, hope I answered that question all right.
Wonderfully. And I love that you've been doing it for, long enough that it's kind of washed together and you can't remember how long you've been doing it. It's one of those things. You're having so much fun that you don't remember how long it's been. That's when you know you're doing what you love.
Well, forgetting things comes with age as well.
Coach, we would be remiss if we did not ask you to highlight your staff and the people that are working with you to make this Brookfield program as strong as it is. So I want you to take some time to highlight the people around you that work with you and make this Brookfield program go.
Absolutely. I thoroughly enjoy the group that we have, and couldn't do it without a guy named Mike Rotuno. He also has coached softball an incredibly long time, and he also enjoys the game, and I really appreciate him. He's going to be a varsity assistant. Jason McCollum is back. He was with us for a couple of years ago, and he came back this year to lend a hand, and he has a lot of experience as well on the high school level and with travel ball. He'll be a varsity assistant. And then Becca Litz, who's actually one of my former players from back in the day, she's going to be the junior varsity coach this year, and has been working with that staff, with our staff. And, we get along great. We have, I believe, the same vision for the program and for the girls, and we're on the same page, and we're just trying to get better each and every day.
All right, Coach, I got to ask you from a standpoint. This question came up yesterday, and we're going to keep it rolling with you.
Oh, boy.
What is your spirit animal when it comes to coaching?
Well, I wasn't prepared for that. I got to give me some options. You know what I mean? I'll describe it this way. I don't know if I can describe a spirit animal, but I'm a pretty relaxed person when it comes to coaching. I mean, there's things that get me fired up, and I use that when I need it. But to me, angry coaching doesn't benefit the kids when they're trying to perform on the court, field, or whatever it might be. If they can never do anything right, then they're going to feel like they can never do anything right. And so I probably take more of a positive approach. Some people might think it's too positive, too much, but we certainly have ways to balance that out, and we do. But I don't know if I can answer that question. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good. It's a tough one, man. It's the curveball, right? You're sitting on dead red, and we just tossed you a curve. So we appreciate you giving it a shot.
I'm the most competitive person. I know there's a lot of competitive people out there, but I think I'm right in there with them. And I just don't always display it with hollering and shouting and carrying on. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I want to win. Nothing bothers me more than losing, especially when it's a mistake that we could have prevented, or a situation we could have controlled, and we didn't do that.
Maybe we can go with a bear, Coach. Bears are, they like to keep to themselves. They like to kind of be relaxed, but when the time needs it, bears can get pretty ferocious.
Okay, I'll roll with that. Berries and grass and munching on some nice chill stuff, and then when you need
to eat some meat, you get a little bit ferocious.
Yeah, I like that, Anthony. We'll go with that.
Nice job, Ant. Way to pick it up.
We got you, buddy. Coach, thank you so much for coming on, giving us the time, giving us a good preview of your program. We wish you the best of luck this year, and we can't wait to talk again real soon.
For sure, gentlemen. We'll see you at the field soon.
Thanks, Coach.
Take care.